Hello my friends, in this video I'm gonna show you how to propagate Haworthia or zebra succulent or zebra plant. Today in this video I'm gonna show you two ways to propagate it. One is the water propagation, and basically which I would separate or split the babies around the plant. Also the other way is that how to soil propagate it with the leaves of the Hawarthia. Before moving on about the propagation of the Hawarthia, I would like to talk about these beautiful plants, also how to take care of it and what are the benefits of having these beautiful plants in your plants collection. Talking about Hawarthia, it is a miniature succulent native to South Africa. It is characterized with its architectural structure with a layer of green and white layers on the leaves based on how much light you have got at home. Usually the green layers get more darker if it's a bit dark in your house, or it gets usually more lighter when you have a lot of light in your house. Talking about the general benefit of the Hawarthia, this is usually one of the low-care succulents, which they can thrive always with a medium light. If they have usually too much indirect sunlight, they usually turn quite well very light green. Or if you get a medium light, usually always you see an even color across the succulents. When it comes to the watering, they usually do not need too much water based on again how much light you have got at home. If it's just a medium light, indirect light, which is I'm talking about, usually you water them every 3 weeks once, based on how much light you have. And sometimes you keep them in a darker corner of your house, maybe then you need to water them every 3 to 4 weeks. With the temperature about Hawarthia, usually the normal house temperature or and the humidity, the normal humidity, that average humidity that you have got at home, they're gonna do pretty fine with them. They do not need usually a lot of humidity or quite high temperature. Just an average room temperature and humidity, it will be very fine with these beautiful plants. Talking about the common problems that usually people they face with this beautiful Hawarthia, is that when the leaves start curling and they have a dry soil, that means they are underwater and we have to water them. In these cases is what I suggest, maybe you can dip them in the water and keep them for a few seconds, and then let all the extra water to fall off, and then place them in somewhere and wait for a couple of days until they come back to their original shape. When the leaves, the other common problem that usually people face, when the leaves turns yellow, means that the plant is overwatered, so there could be a chance of rotten roots at the bottom. So what I suggest you to clean up the soil above the roots and cut all of the rotten ones and put a fresher soil for them, which later on in this video I'll explain to you what kind of soil mix we need for all type of succulent as well as Hawarthia, and then you can give a try, and sure they will come back to their original living ratio. When the leaves are turning brown or sometimes red, they means again they are underwatered. So that means could be also the soils are compressed with it. Also what I suggest that we take the soil to be changed to a fresher one with our new soil mix, and also to keep the soil a bit loosened, because initially for them to get used to a new soil, they're going to take some time. So keep the soil always a bit loose, not to compress it, because over compressing also could be one of the reasons why the leaves are turning brown, and sometimes the water doesn't reach to the roots. So that's why is one of the reasons that because of underwatering the leaves turns brown or reddish. So after talking about these beautiful plants, about the care and the benefit of beautiful plants, now we're going to go and start doing the propagation. So let's start getting our hands dirty now. Okay, so here I want to show you how to propagate the Haworthia with the Haworthia leaves, doing it with the potting soil mix. Before I start doing that, I want to talk about our potting mix, or the soil is usually 3 part of normal potting soil, with 1 part of perlite and 1 part of river sand. I will mention also in the comment what exactly these mix are, so for you to refer to it, and for you to prepare your succulents soil or Haworthia potting mix accordingly. Why I recommend always the sands to be river sand or building sand is so important, that because not to have the salt in them. Usually the sand that usually we find them outside is mixed with the salt, but the one usually river sand or the building sand, they do not have any salt on them. Or if you want to use the salt from the streets, from the outside, you can always basically wash them for quite a few times, as I mentioned earlier, and then you will be able to use them. So talking about the leaves propagation, usually this is how I have the leaves. Actually I have already cut them aside. Some of them they were going to die, I took them aside, and some of them I just cut them from the Haworthia. I have left them for a couple of days to get dry, as you can see the ends are all dry, because usually if they are not dried out, they rot. If you're gonna propagate them either in the water or in the soil, they're gonna rot. So to avoid that, I kept them aside for a couple of days to get dry and hard, so then it won't get rot. But I'm going to cut these extra pieces of dryness. I'm just going to give maybe a few millimeters at the end of it, to allow the roots to grow from there. So I start doing the cutting. This is usually how I will cut. Then I will be able to plant them into the new soil, the soil mix that I have. I'm gonna also keep a couple of these leaves also in the water, just for me to test and try how do they develop in the normal water as well, to see if any sign of roots going to come. Usually when it comes to the rooting for this Haworthia, it usually takes time, so you need to be a lot patient and waiting until you see some sign of roots. Probably sometimes takes up to 1 month or 1.5 months time takes for the new roots to comes out. So what I'm going to do next now, I'm going to add my potting mix into this gardener pots that I have. Okay, this is how I have it, and I'm going to start placing them around this potting around this pot. Okay, this is how it's been done. When it comes to the watering, please ensure that you do not water them too much initially, because again it helps them to rot quite fast. When you're dipping them inside the soil, make sure you are putting around 1 centimeter or 1.5 centimeter in the soil. This is one. Here I have got. Now the second one, I'm going to add the potting soil. or the potting mix, actually mix of perlite and river sand as well as potting soil. It's good to use some sharp edges for you to be able doing it faster, but be careful not to damage the leaves or to injure the leaves. I'm sure you will get some sign of growth coming in the probably 3 to 4 weeks. If usually they don't get more worse into next few days, like they don't rot or they don't get dry more, then it means that the roots are going to generate sometime soon. So what I'll be showing you in next, this is how we have got it now. This is how we did the propagation with the leaves. Now in next, what I'm going to do, I have this beautiful Haworthia which I explained to you earlier. We're going to do the splitting, or we're going to separate these little babies around it, and we're going to plant them. We're going to basically do a water propagation into these 2 water containers that I have. At this stage I won't remove all of these 4 in case if I might go wrong. I'll keep a couple of them. I'll just take a risk with 2 of them first to see how am I doing. But before I start doing the separation, I need to see how the roots condition are. With having soil around them, I won't be able to visit or to visualize what exactly in there. So we have to basically get rid of this extra soil around, and basically by dipping them in the water and getting them clean until I see exactly where I'm gonna separate. I must know where I'm gonna separate these little babies to make sure I'm not hurting any of the roots, either are the small ones or the mother plants. So I'll show you in the next video, in the next few seconds, how to do the cleaning and then how to doing the separation. So as you can see here, I'll take the pot, the plants out of the pot, and I start washing it. I start squeezing the soil so the extra soil can fall apart. There are in some cases they have a cocoa peat around the roots, which are easier as how mine is, but in many cases where you buy your plants from nurseries, in most of the cases they have just the dirt or a normal potting soil, which is quite hard to clean or to get rid of. You need to spend much more time to wash it actually for you to be able to visualize. But in my case here, it was quite easy. As I can see now, almost all of the soil already fallen off. Yes, this is this. Let me just clean a little bit more of it. Okay, we are almost there. Yeah, just a little bit cleaning the dirts around the roots as well, turning it, you know, from dark brown to a lighter brown. So sometimes could be some layer of soil or the dirt on the roots. Okay, there is some sign of damage here as well. By looking after washing, basically by looking at the current condition of these beautiful plants, as I can see, we can only separate the one which is here on the side, which is already, you know, has its own roots separately. You see, this is the only one what we can propagate in the water. The rest of the babies around, they haven't been having their own roots independently, so that's why we cannot really separate them. As you can see here, we won't be able to separate them because they are so attached to the mother plant. So if we want to cut them off, they probably get hurt and there won't be any sign of growth for them. That's why I'm not going to take the risk. I'm going to stick to this single one what I have here right now, and plant it into put it into a water, or to propagate it with the water. So I'll show you in next how to do it with the water, and what kind of water level we need to have, and what sort of containers we need to use for us to water propagate this beautiful Haworthia. So getting back to our station, I have this little bit baby which I want to propagate it in this little recycled glass container. I'm gonna wash it extra, so the extra soil that was stick to my hand was off as well. I will add some water here until I have the roots sticking, to the water actually. Yeah, I think that's going to be enough. Then I'm going to put it like this. Yeah, that's all it. Pretty good. If you have a bit narrower maybe container, or maybe a smaller container, also is going to be even better, but this is how it is, as I think it's going to do pretty fine. So I'll be keeping this in somewhere where I have quite medium light during the day, and monitor it for next couple of weeks to see how is it going. And I'm sure in next 3 to 4 weeks I should be seeing sign of some new roots coming out. So that's all about the water propagation. What I'm going to do next, I'm going to repot the mother plant into its pot actually, with adding soil around it. So I think that's all it. Let me just do that so you can see exactly how the repotting also has been done for the Haworthia. Adding some potting mix at the bottom, then place it in the middle and add some more extra soil around it, or the potting mix actually around it. Yeah, looking pretty good so far. Yeah, that's all it. Looking great. So over watering, you will have those extra soil falling, getting compressed actually naturally. Yeah, I'm just pressing a little bit softly so that I will have the soil equally all over the pot. Yeah, that's all it, what we have done it so far. Quite looking great. This one has come off. I'm going to insert it again. Here we go. We got 2 soil leaf propagation, and we have got 1 water propagation by doing the splitting or separation. And here is our mother plant. I hope you liked and enjoyed this video. Please like and share our video, and then subscribe to our page. Have a wonderful time, and see you soon.